an Aboriginal tribe was offered $6 billion in the World War II era
Holy
to
shit.
mine uranium, and they said no.
Is it on the top of Uluru and no one can get to it?
No, fuck off, guys.
Do you get her to sign your shirt?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How about
Got
the
it
chest?
framed. Yeah, I got her to sign the shirt, and then I took my shirt off, and then she signed my chest.
Can be man-made as well.
What, like the terrorist?
Yeah, like Shinobi.
The terrorist. The terrorist.
Johnny terrorist. Alright guys, welcome to this episode of the Late Speakers Podcast, episode 5. My name's Kyle, and today I am joined by Daniel.
Hello, Halber Stramp.
Chris.
Hey.
Benson.
Howdy.
And Tom.
Hey.
Let's get right into the news.
Yep, so FaZe Jarvis was banned from Fortnite for using an aimbot hack. I'm not actually sure when he exactly used it, but they've only just sort of recently taken action, and they're doubling down on it due to, there's a lot of, fan backlash from fans, obviously, and the Fortnite community. But yeah, Fortnite are doubling down and saying, no, we have a zero tolerance for hackers, so get over it. He's permanently banned.
Now we cut to Chris live on the scene.
He is still crying, still in tears. His mother is still defending him, saying that despite that they have sex, they have such
All right, let's go to Benson with analytics.
Okay. Anyway, apparently Ninja said the ban was too extreme, but my opinion is go fuck him, because hackers suck dick. Even if you're trying to, I don't know, just showcase how easy it is to hack, and you're basically telling them, hey guys, you should really try this out. It's actually surprisingly easy.
Yeah, no effort at all. Look how easy it is.
I don't think he fucking showed them exactly how to do it.
Know. I'm not saying he did, but he might have accidentally promoted it. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, he probably did promote it.
From what I understand, Ninja saying that it was too harsh is it's kind of taken out of context, but at the same time he's kind of still saying it's too harsh. But it's because before the Fortnite World Cup, 2 guys got caught cheating, not hacking, but like teaming up in solos.
Yep.
And they got banned for 2 weeks, and then they were allowed to compete in the World Cup anyway, after being banned for cheating.
Did they win money from it, or?
They would have. I think everyone that placed into the final thing in the World Cup got money.
Did they all do singles, or was it teams? And I don't know, because I don't care much about Fortnite.
It was in solos, and they he had a bunch of. It's a bit weird because the way it worked, it's not like, except for the last part of the World Cup, it's not like structured matches like CS:GO or something.
Yeah.
It's like you just play normal, and if you do well enough, you'll get enough points or whatever to make it to the thinger. So he was just queuing at the same time as his friends, and his friends would all come to him and let him kill them, so he would get more points.
Right.
But wouldn't they record the data?
Yeah, that's how he got caught.
Okay, well then that's pretty gay. I mean,
And then they banned him, and then only for 2 weeks, and then he came back and he competed in the World Cup. Like, how stupid is that?
That's pretty dumb.
So like the bar wasn't set very high for Epic Games, like setting reasonable bans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that also
Well,
wasn't-
I'm glad that they did it. It's like the only thing that I appreciate Epic has ever done. And I think they should just ban all players, honestly.
Yep.
In all players.
in an interview with Tifu, who I'm only just now learning his real name is Turner Tenny. It's
Oh,
really
Turner.
surprising to me.
God, his parents must have hated him.
Turner Tenny in an interview said, quote, I mean, he's an idiot, but a lifetime ban is pretty aggressive. So sort of a similar, if Ninja's quote was, taken out of context or real or whatever, that's sort of similar to what Ninja said, apparently. So yeah, it seems like Tifu, I think Ali A and Ninja have all sort of taken the same kind of stance on saying that it's fair, but a bit too much.
Which
Well,
also
fuck him.
doesn't
Go
make sense.
outside.
Okay, well, my opinions about those guys. Ali A, I saw was talking about how he doesn't like how the matchmaking works, or it matches you with similar skilled people, and the only reason why you wouldn't like that is because you want to destroy people that are shit at the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, I just want to fuck over noobs, basically.
Yeah,
That's how he gets his content.
Yeah, so I don't care much about his opinion. And Ninja, I think, might be mentally unstable. So I am going to avoid his opinion as well.
Fuck you say to me?
Yeah. So I don't know. They're all tools. That's what I see it as.
I mean, I haven't really sort of heard much from Ninja. Though I did buy his book, so I.
Oh, for fuck's
Oh.
sake! You have to plug it every week.
I'm
Yeah.
legally
Every
required
week,
to mention that. Yep, legally required to
I
mention
saw a
that
bit
every
about
episode.
that. And there's some really fucking gay shit in there. And it's so like
Like
oblivious.
what?
Like, oh fuck, I need to find. I saw a video about it, and I've got to see. Like, it talked about some of the chapters, and I think, fuck, I can't remember. I'm gonna have a look.
A lot of it is just so obvious. And I'm pretty sure every like second or third page is like a full spread of just like a picture of him. So it's like really filling up the pages of just photos of shit.
It's like a calendar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Ninja.
I think also they pointed out in nearly every photo, he's got some form of Red Bull in the photo.
Yeah, he's like heavily
'Cause
sponsored
he's-
by Red Bull.
Yeah, he's sponsored
really?
by Red Bull.
He wears the Red Bull bandana and everything.
Oh.
He
Yeah, go ahead.
We all started a topic.
fuck, I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, if you're okay with me changing the topic a little
No.
bit. Okay, fuck me then. About energy drinks. This is probably going to be your favorite game, Carl, now that I have found it out. But in Death Stranding,
fuck.
right?
Yeah.
The med kit in the game,
Oh
like
my.
restores health, is a Monster energy drink.
Nice.
It's
Oh,
a
wow.
canteen. You have a special canteen that absorbs the atmospheric moisture and turns it into Monster energy, and that's how you
Wow.
restore your health.
Wait, like
Is
actually
it
monster?
Like, yeah, is
Yeah,
it
it literally says Monster energy,
and it has like the
hilarious.
3 green like streaks.
M.
and there's
right?
cans.
Yeah.
There's cans in like certain areas that you use to restore your health with, and it's just Monster energy drink.
That
Does
is
he drink
fucking
it and
Oh
then
my
just start-
god! Every single Kyle is going to purchase this game.
It's
I
That is
wonder
the
what they got
greatest
paid for
marketing
that.
idea I've ever heard in my life.
After he drinks it, does he just start like punching through all the walls?
Oh, he headbutts it.
Well, basically, it's his only fuel source because he uses it for stamina and health, and is running away from fucking like death ghosts and other bullshit, and that's his only fuel source.
death ghosts as opposed to little living ghosts.
I mean, I don't know. It's some spooky shit, and he just climbs up walls and runs across open fields and other shit, just drinking Monster Energy. So
That is what the fuck.
Also, like in the similar topic to our Monster Energy drink, my brother had a Halloween party, which I didn't go to because I was in Queensland. But one of his mates dressed up as typical Kyle, and he had like a belt of like empty Monster Energy drink cans, and he had a little like a cutout of drywall that he like basically had around his arm because he punched it. So it's like he was dressed up as typical Kyle, and I think he also had like a motocross shirt as well. So it's just like
Nice.
the full get up.
Wow.
Did he have like a fucking emo haircut as well?
I think he actually had a hat on. I'll just try and find the photo.
Did he like beat his wife periodically?
What, is that
no.
another Kyle thing?
That
I
being
think
said,
it
I
was.
wasn't there, so maybe. He had a Yamaha motocross shirt on.
Nice.
Said Raw XD.
when the
every 3
drywall kind of get
seconds.
annoying,
I assume so. I assume he probably just like he walked in for 5 minutes and then just threw it away because it just stopped him from doing just basic shit.
Punched
Yeah.
it into bits.
no, he punched it into another wall, and then
Ah, of course.
there you go.
He's not a Kyle, I assume.
No, his name is Jaden.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's
Typical Jaden.
assuming a form. Like,
Jaden- Oh, I probably shouldn't say it. Jade.
Yep, that one.
Yeah.
Wait, how many people are you going to dox?
I
Every
was just
single week.
wondering.
Yeah, it is Jaden.
I used to work
Jaden,
with old Jade.
How the hell did you figure this?
Because I met him one time at Kyle's dad's 50th.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm like, hang on a minute. I worked with that guy for a year and a half.
Alrighty then.
Well, that settles it.
Yeah. Also, kind of linking back to the ninja thing, there's a photo. I think the chapter it's teamwork or something like that. I don't actually know what the chapter is, but it's like a full spread of him with like 4 other people, and I think 2 of them are holding like really big trophies, and he's next to them. So it's kind of like a good advertisement. So it's like, if you read my book and work hard, you can stand next to people holding really big trophies.
Nice.
I think also in one of his chapters, he's talking about how if your equipment is shit, basically your keyboard, mouse, etc., is shit, that might, he says that will impact your gameplay. He like,
Really?
yeah. And I'm like, okay, I mean, maybe, but most of it's just your own skill. Like, it doesn't really matter too much how fucking amazing your mice is, as long as it's not from the like 70s and it's still a fucking
Really? You
a
haven't
bowl.
met Marlon, because his mouse probably is from the 70s, along with his computer and
Yeah.
internet.
It's one of those ones where you move the ball with your thumb to move the mouse on the screen.
My brother
Yeah.
has that.
That's fucking
He also,
disgusting.
when we used to play CS:GO or something, he'd call up on the dial-up internet so that he'd be able to fucking play the games.
Wait, what?
When was this?
When was this? Did you just
What?
ask? I wasn't being serious.
Not gonna lie. Poorly executed joke.
Yeah, it really
moving
was.
along. You should
It
feel
was-
ashamed.
Yeah, I think there's
I
a
very much do.
okay.
I wish to die.
Okay.
So there's also part about warm-up exercises, and basically
Yep.
for the pictures, there's basically a dude very slightly moving his neck, and then
No.
another one is moving his neck backwards so he can get a double chin, and the other one is raising his arms up and down with no weights, just up and down. And another one is he just stands in a corner of a room with his
Yeah.
hands on the wall. And
Sorry, he has warm-up exercises.
yeah, for
Yeah,
gaming.
I think I
'cause
mentioned
it's
that in the
such an
first
intense
episode.
thing.
I think
Well,
I mentioned it in the pilot episode how it's like yoga with ninja. It's not actually called that, but it's just my joke name for it.
I don't think
And,
it's that
silly.
unreasonable to do warm-ups for gaming if you're playing like 10 hours a day in one sitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean
you'd
that's
probably
easy.
end up with some sort of RSI if you're a streamer.
That's easy. I do it all the time.
Stream for 10 hours a day.
No, I mean fucking play games for 10 hours a day.
I feel like you'd take more breaks than you realize, though.
Just like
When
toilet
I'm
break.
dedicated to Skyrim, I haven't eaten 3 days once because I just wanted to play it.
Just fucking, well, I mean, you don't get to
Haven't
1,000
eaten in
hours with
3
nothing.
days.
Yeah, and so I had like a 4-hour nap in that whole 3 days.
What the
Fuck.
fuck is wrong
What?
with you?
Set an alarm so he doesn't lose at any time.
I was about to play Skyrim today, but we had to do this podcast, so I got fucked over, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
sorry.
Glad to know where your loyalties really lie.
One
Playing the
was-
game that you've already played several thousand hours of.
One other exercise was he gets a like I don't know what it is, but it looks like he's squishing like goo, and that's just you just squish goo, and that's for your sore wrist apparently.
And then you
Yeah,
win.
I squish goo all the time.
I don't know. It's
For your
just
sore wrist.
yeah for chucking
Not
off
once
fucking
has
10
my
hours straight.
has my wrist. Yeah, that's what games really are. Not once has my wrist gotten sore from playing.
Nah,
Not once.
neither.
Yeah.
It's happened to me before.
What the fuck? You need to wank more, dude.
Obviously. No, well, it's probably though because I like often rest like directly on my fucking like wrist jugular,
What the
right on the
What?
corner, right on the like the sharp edge of my desk.
You rest your wrist on a corner while you play.
Not on a
games?
corner. I meant like on the edge of my desk.
Okay.
My
is
mouse
probably
pad
not the
goes
best.
like right up to the edge, so it's comfortable. Not
Mine
that I even
does also. But
put mine. I only rest like the bottom of my palm on the edge of my table.
I don't know. I guess I'm just a spaz.
Also, I don't think squishing a goo ball is going to help you with like an impaled wrist.
I don't know. Yeah, no, it keeps the blood flowing so you bleed out quicker. Suicide tips with Daniel.
I was going
Is
to
that
say
the,
that, but it's
the
like, well, it's a
title
bit
of this
too edgy.
episode?
Yeah.
Suicide tips with Daniel.
Wow, can't wait
21.
for the thumbnail.
Man, I was watching the end of Downton Abbey with my sister because she watched like the whole thing recently, and I was just like chilling there.
Yeah.
And this dude like fucking properly like killed himself in a bath. But obviously he didn't like fully die. He was like dying. But they like break the door down because they think he's in there suspiciously long or some bullshit. I don't know. And he's just laying in a pool of bath full of blood, and I'm like, damn, not ideal.
Should
How
we
did you
have
do
a
it?
spoiler tag just in case we have any Downton Abbey
I didn't
fans?
say
Oh,
who it
shut the
was.
fuck up, Kyle.
Didn't say who it was. Could have been anyone.
It's Jeff.
Yeah,
Could
how
be
did
you.
they do it?
How'd they do what?
End themselves.
What do you
They
if he's in
rubbed
a
their
fucking
wrist.
bath full of blood? I reckon he probably slit his wrists.
Well,
He rubbed his
probably, but-
wrist against the bathtub and it just fucking cut him.
Yeah, he actually
Yeah.
rested his wrist on the corner of his desk.
Cut his
He
wrist
bled out.
jugular.
His bath desk.
Also, I found out that there's a scam, right? Where basically you can download RAM online.
Pretty good. I
What?
just did that recently.
And
Uh,
Daniel has just spent how much on 32 gigabytes? And he could have downloaded it this entire time?
Yeah,
Download-
$200. I could have just downloaded it instead. What a waste.
Fucking hell.
Is that the same person that made the scam of running an image?
Yeah, the very same.
He's like,
Right.
I'll
As
get
if
a
he's
little more
intelligent
random
enough to create a scam like that.
Mm.
All right. Well, this has been the Late Speakers podcast. Have a good day. Goodbye.
And that's it.
Yep, done.
Done.
Marlon was asking me for computer parts for fucking
Who's asking
ages.
you for them?
Well, not. He wasn't asking me, like, he wasn't trying to purchase them off me.
Can I have your monitor?
But it has all this like amazing stuff, right?
Mm.
But then it's a laptop. He then eventually told me, and it has a really bad graphics card.
How bad?
It's a GeForce MX 350. I think he said that.
Fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard. I had never heard of it either. And he said apparently it performs just as good as a GTX 680, which is obviously pretty
As long as
incredible.
it's just as good as that.
Um,
Everybody's got one of them.
Well, actually, his words were, "It performs better than that," which I'd fucking hope so. But like everything else, it's got like a 10th gen i7. It's got a 500 gigabyte SSD, although it didn't say there was any other form of storage space, which is
that
interesting.
actually- we have a story to loop back to after this. You've just reminded me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he asked me. He's like, "Oh, it's quad core, isn't that shit?" I'm like, "What?"
Nice.
Pretty sure like 8 cores is the max, isn't it?
I don't know, but I don't think that really matters too much for gaming. That's
Yeah.
more
He
of
doesn't
a
want it for
workstation
gaming, though. He
situation.
said,
Why
which
does he want it
probably
for?
makes
Does he want
sense
it
why
for?
he wants it for uni because he's retarded.
Yeah, but does
Like,
he
why are you
need
spending
such a good laptop for uni?
$1,300?
Yeah, just get like a fucking Chromebook if all you need to run is like Word. Like I was looking at, there's like some Chromebook bullshit on fucking Amazon. I was looking at. It's literally $350 for this fucking laptop.
Nice.
Which actually sounds a lot better in my head now that I say it out loud. But it's like Chromebooks are just like they cost like way less, and if you all you need is like YouTube and like Microsoft Office and shit, it's like you may as well just get one of them. Use code Late Speakers for 10% off.
Ah, yeah. By the way, that doesn't
That's
actually
not a real
exist,
code.
so don't use it.
And I didn't give a website. Just use it everywhere. Getting Domino's, use that.
Create a code.
The story I said I'd loop back to. Kyle gave me. I okayed this with Kyle bringing this up.
Oh fuck.
I was talking to Kyle the other day about his computer. He's like, "Oh, I had to uninstall something because I didn't have enough room." This is Kyle's laptop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You don't have room. How much space do you have?" He's like, "Oh, I've got like 108 gigabytes or whatever." And I'm like, "That's like nothing." And he's like, "Yeah, that is kind of low. I never really thought about it." So I'm like, "What laptop do you have?" And then I look at the image he sends me with what laptop it is, and it has a 128 gigabyte SSD and a 1 terabyte hard drive. And he never realized he has the hard drive.
It cost me
Until I
like
pointed it out.
it cost me like $2,500, like
Oh my.
2,500. No,
What
2,500.
What brand
And
is it?
Omen. And I was like, why is
HP
it just
Omen.
running out of shit all of a sudden? And then the folder that says data is actually like, not
Is
not
actually a
basically
hard
setting.
drive.
Yeah, it's not like settings and all that I shouldn't touch, which is what I retardedly thought it was.
Also, 108 gigabytes is not possible. It has to be a
118.
118.
Oh well,
It's
either
like-
way, it needs to be a power of 2.
It's because of like the OS being installed or some shit.
Ah, right, I see. Ah, I see.
Why is that?
I don't know. Like, well, I just bought a fucking 2 terabyte portable hard drive for my Xbox. Plug it in, and it's like you have 1.8 terabytes for free. And I'm like, what the fuck could be on there? It's not like anything like it's not like there's software for the Xbox on there.
200
Purely the storage,
gigabytes
and
is
it's missing
taken up.
Yeah, it's just missing 200 gigabytes.
I was also talking about oh fuck! I forgot. Literally as I was saying that, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Rip. Happens to me all the time because I have dementia.
Damn.
Don't laugh at
but
me.
yeah.
Oh, why? I now remember. Why does like gaming measurements have to be in the power of 2?
Oh, it's probably something to do with binary shit.
Well, yeah. Wait. Isn't it powers of 4?
No, it's powers of 2.
Well, I guess I'll just go fuck myself. Well, RAM skis can like the RAM speed. It's like 2133 is a RAM speed you can have.
Alrighty then.
So just just trying to
RAM
flex on
speed?
you that
What
it's
the hell?
that's not a power of 2.
Fuck, I don't know.
But
then.
all the like sticks that you can get, you get like
Yeah,
2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64,
21.
128, whatever the fuck's is the rest of them.
Was there one of them? One of you said there was like a 1.5 terabyte.
Ah, yes. The
Yeah.
the newest
Yes.
Mac Pro, you can end up spending like 20 something grand, and you can get 1.5 terabytes of RAM in your Mac Pro.
Isn't that the one that the stand costs $1,000?
That's the stand for the monitor, for the $10,000 monitor.
Yeah.
So no computer included.
Wait, no, the computer's inside the monitor for the Mac, isn't it?
No, not all of them.
Oh.
That's just a monitor.
$10,000
The Mac Pro
for
is
the
like a
monitor.
desktop, not an all-in-one. Yeah, it's but it's apparently a very nice monitor.
Oh, it'd have
It's
to be.
crisp 720p,
720p.
FPS.
24
Very
FPS.
Man,
24.
recently I
only
was
play
looking at-
movies at like decent FPS.
Yeah, even a game you can't even get 30. Recently I was looking at shit to do with my monitor, and I realized I can turn it up to 75 hertz instead of 60, which doesn't make much of a difference. But while looking at shit about that, I saw a clip about a streamer called Greek God X who had
Oh,
had
that
his
fucker.
144 hertz monitor for 2 years before he realized it was set to 60 hertz. He would always be like, "Oh, what the hell? It doesn't. 144 hertz doesn't even look better." And people were like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And then one day he checked, and he was at 60 the whole time.
I don't even want to get a 144 hertz monitor because number one, I don't particularly want to pay for it. Number two, my computer probably couldn't run many games at 144 FPS. And then when I finally do run something at 144, I'll think 60 FPS looks disgusting.
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, imagine what you'll think of 30 at that point.
Yeah.
You'll
If I
like
ever
gouge
play
your
a game
eyes
at
out at the
30
sight of it.
again.
I
Well, we
don't know.
can,
I don't really have that problem. Fuck you, all right?
We can only hope that next gen consoles are 60 FPS because that would be
Oh, they have to
very
be.
nice. I
Current
mean,
gen are 60 FPS.
well, some
Well,
games.
Well, probably
Just
like most.
PC.
For some reason, they're all like very nice. We'll get 4K, but not 60 FPS, which is much easier to achieve. No.
I think, well, a lot of games with the Xbox One X, the ones that can do 4K, are usually bound to like 30 FPS at 4K or 60 at 1080p.
Not even always though. Like, I don't know. It's just stupid that I don't know why they why game companies like PlayStation and Xbox want to get 4K over 60 FPS.
Maybe because it's better in presentation. Like when they present screenshots, it's like, holy shit, the resolution
yeah.
is
Yeah, like-
amazing. But then,
Like tangible stuff.
Yeah.
basically.
I feel like like normies wouldn't know the difference. You know what I mean? Like someone who's been
Yeah.
playing fucking COD on their PS fucking 3 their whole life wouldn't know the difference between 30 and 60 FPS, even though the newer CODs are 60. But
Yeah, you'd notice. This is just my I don't know, my opinion or my thought, but you'd sort of notice more pixels than you would more frames. Like if
I
you
would,
look at it side by
but-
side, you'd go, "Wow, that looks more beautiful." Than wow, that looks
Wow.
smoother, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know,
what,
man.
like visible
I definitely would
improvement.
not.
Yeah,
Like I've obviously not compared a 4K image to a 1080p image right next to each other.
Yeah.
But it's less like I have 4K TV, weird flex, I know.
Yeah,
But,
same.
And I don't know, man. It looks good, but I would rather have 60 FPS when gaming than 4K.
You
Unless the
ever
TV's
watched
fucking
anything at
gigantic.
4K?
Obviously, I fucking what?
I mean, I have a 4K TV and I've only ever seen 4K pictures. I've never actually watched something in 4K.
you have
The
pictures
frick?
on your TV.
Yeah, it was just like a fucking, hey, look at these 4K images. It's like a
Nice.
thing that came
stock.
with the TV.
Like
Yeah, like
stock.
stock images.
look at this
Netflix
tree.
is 4K usually, or for Netflix originals overall 4K.
Why don't developers give you the option to switch between the two frame rates and like
'Cause
lower
they suck
resolution?
Dick.
I just
Because I mean,
thought
you can
they
do that with PC, but I don't know if they do that with console. Like they don't
You
give
can
you.
change everything with PC.
Yeah, but it's like they could just. I mean, I say they could just, but realistically, it would probably be more difficult than we think. But they could just enable like not even just all settings, just a fucking switch like that will automatically set the settings so you'll get 60.
Yeah,
Like,
it can't be that hard. I mean, you're already doing it for PC.
and some games do have that. Like, in The Last of Us Remastered, it doesn't change graphics, but you can lock it to 30.
Yeah, I had a story about that. Or like, I don't sort of notice the difference between 60 FPS and 30 FPS, or like I feel like I don't. And I think I said that to Daniel when I first got my PlayStation 4 because I got Last of Us Remastered as well. And I was like, I don't really sort of notice the difference between 60 and 30. And he's like, well, you can change the frame rate on it. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. And I changed it to 30. And then I like moved to the left. And I was like, oh no, it's terrible. Moved it back to 60. Because it was just like it looked like it was glitching, like it looked like it was buffering. It was really bad in comparison somehow.
It's
Yeah.
not even bad for third-person games though, compared to
It is bad,
first-person.
but it's past. It's like you can ignore it.
Yeah,
to a point.
that was like the first comparison, or like the first example of it, and I was just like, nope, not for me. Go back to 60, please.
First person gaming in 30 FPS, it actually, at least for me, it makes it harder to like aim and shit.
Of course
It's
it does.
Well, I don't know.
You have
dude.
less
Like,
time to react to things.
Well, no, but you know what I mean. Like it feels like I'm lagging, like server lagging or something. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
whack. Whereas with a third person game, it's not as bad.
Yeah, it's probably because it's less like precise.
I guess.
Just had a random thought. Is there more like single player, third person? Like, is there more multiplayer games in first person than there are in third person? Because I feel like for some reason third person games are more like a single player story based game.
Yeah. I find that.
Yeah,
A lot of people
I
don't
a lot
like
of-
third person gaming for multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't.
Because obviously you can see around corners and stuff without being
yeah.
seen around the corner.
Right,
itself.
yeah.
But and there's the opposite for story-driven games. It's so you can see the character and like, you know what I like.
Oh,
yeah,
so sort of
see
like
the character, so you can identify them as a character more.
yeah, and like sort of develop some form of like like this is who you are, and like
yeah.
Mm.
you can see their facial features and shit like that, and their
We had
body
a-
language.
We had a similar discussion, didn't we? Me, Daniel, Tom, and Dean were sort of talking.
Yeah.
I think it was with Cyberpunk 2099. How it was sort of like talking
2099.
about how-
2099,
Isn't that what it is?
2077.
2077.
Oh fuck! What am I thinking of?
You silly.
Something completely different, I guess. Yeah, 2077, and how like I feel in third-person games you kind of get attached to the character more than you do in first-person, and I don't actually know who was on the other side of it.
Did you
Dean
guys-
said he didn't really care, but I agree.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Keanu Reeves' girlfriend?
Yeah, I
Yes.
saw that.
Yeah.
That was announced. Well, actually, it was announced, but it was like they'd been secretly dating for a year, and every photo they have is like them holding hands, and it's like not really a
Hmm.
secret, is it?
I also don't understand why it's like such a big thing. Like
Mm.
I don't really like.
Because
Good for him.
Keanu
Good for him.
Reeves is the internet's boyfriend.
I know
Yeah.
he's good,
It's
good
all
for the
about
guy,
it,
whatever.
He's
But
cheating on us.
I don't know. It's like that's not my problem. I don't really care. Like I mean, it's
Yeah.
good for him.
I
I
fail to
hope
see
it
how
works
that's my
out,
problem.
whatever. But I just, who cares?
Yeah, it's
in the
weird
end.
how.
What do you mean? Lots of people care.
Yeah, but he doesn't
why?
mean literally who cares.
Yeah.
He means like why the fuck do you care? Like yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of sick of the fucking everything I see on Reddit is just circle jerk after circle jerk after
I've-
circle jerk.
I've got to agree there. It's so
Of
bad.
Keanu Reeves or just porn that you're watching?
Everything.
no, just about everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I don't have Reddit or ever
Right.
look at it.
Okay,
It's
boomer.
Fuck off.
That's another thing. That's everywhere on Reddit, and it's like
I'm like the youngest here, except
I-
for you, Daniel.
I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
why I'm
Except
calling
for
you a
the
boomer.
ones that are younger.
the people who made it thought, or whoever were thinking they were smart, and then because it's used so much, it just seems gay now. Not
And
in an
I hate
offensive
gays.
way,
Yeah, it's like a
but
trend.
just really
Quote
shit.
Benson.
Not in an offensive way, so you mean in a homosexual way?
Yeah.
Like, what?
I don't fucking know.
It's
I
weird
think
how
you do
When
mean
this-
in an offensive way, and not in a homosexual way.
I don't have anything against the gays. I
Oh.
just use gay as a bad term, I guess. I don't
The
know.
gays.
Anyway, it was
Ow.
weird how in all of the articles that I read about Keanu Reeves, they were always mentioning how Keanu Reeves is like a sort of private person. Like, yeah, he's sort of like a private and sort of like keeps things to himself. And then it was weird that they found it was weird how like they found out about it and they were acting as if it was like they'd cracked the code or something. And it's just like, no, he probably just didn't want to reveal it just then. And it's like everyone's like, yes, he's got a girlfriend, we know more about him. It's like, just get out of his business, why don't you?
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want to be a celebrity because I fucking
I mean, he
hate
did walk the
people.
red carpet with her, so it was like he accepted the fact that there was going to be a reveal.
Speaking of boomers,
What the fuck?
she looks like a bit of a boomer, but she's not that old. Like she's got proper grey hair.
She's 9 years younger than him.
And she,
Yeah.
to me, she looks older than him.
It's because of
Yeah.
her hair. Like she's got
Yeah.
natural looking grey hair.
And
But she
Keanu
doesn't
just doesn't
look-
age, so
I
He's
like
How old
definitely
is he?
aged.
Like
He's-
in his 50s.
Yeah.
he's 55.
I do like the joke that he absorbs the life force of people around him, and that's why he's younger than he looks younger than his age.
What?
Um, yeah, people say he hasn't aged. Like he looks good for his age, but if you watch the newer John Wick, he's getting older. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's got like
I think-
4 chins every time he looks down. Like
No, he doesn't. I think it's just his facial hair that makes him look young at the moment.
Mm.
Like
yeah,
the-
definitely. It helps.
Like
him.
Yeah.
compare him to the first Matrix, which I haven't even seen, but I've seen
Oh, you should. It's
photos of
great.
it. Fucking shut up, Kyle.
You guys seen like the Bill and Ted pictures? Like he's like fully unshaved. Like
Oh,
shaved.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fully unshaved.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, like he looks
in-
like older with like shaved and stuff.
You can actually see his like wrinkles and shit.
And if you actually
Yeah.
look at the Matrix, like he looks like a baby in that. Like,
yeah, he looks like a
literal-
literal child.
How old is he in that? Fuck, it's
It came out in
He's
2000,
actually
so-
6 months old.
yep.
6 months.
That's why he has such baby face.
Correction, it came out in 1999, so I was a year
like-
off.
It's
What
like
about
in
your
his
erection?
30s.
That's literally when I
Yeah,
was
so
Oh, wow.
20 years
Yeah.
ago, he was 35.
Yeah.
And he looks
35 and he looks 10, yeah.
fucking hell. Maybe that's it. He just always been. He's like always young. He's just born young. Looks super young
Yeah.
forever.
Jeez, yeah, what the fuck? How is he 35?
Yeah, like I watched Speed the other night and he was like 30 in that. I was like,
yeah.
When was
He
Bill
must
and Ted?
have quite the skincare routine.
I just looked up speed and I got a bunch of pictures of like speedometers.
Okay. I thought you were about to talk about the drug.
Maybe he has Patrick
No.
Bateman's skincare routine.
Oh, it's true. Okay, he was 25 in Bill and Ted, so that's more reasonable.
yeah, but wait, what year did it come out?
1989.
So it came out 10
Bill
years
and
before
Ted.
Matrix. So 30 years ago. Damn.
Hmm. Can you stop that? Sorry, just trying to fill the silence a little bit.
Oh yeah, what a good silent
Fucking
film.
moaning.
Not by moaning.
You sound like a moose.
Just
Fuck
cut out
off.
the silence.
Yeah, but it's less work to go than to cut it out.
Just stop, please.
What
Yes.
what Carl was saying earlier about first person and third person games relating to story, to being attached to the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were arguing that in a first person game, it's easier for you to associate the character as being you, so you don't get attached to them because it's just you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
True,
Yeah.
true.
it's you get attached to the people around you and stuff as if they
Yeah,
have a
like-
relationship to you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
how would it would be in a Bethesda game because you're just a no-name character, except for 4, I guess. Fallout 4.
Hey,
But,
you can do third person and first person in those games.
Yeah, but if you do third person in Skyrim, like your character doesn't even have a voice or anything. You're just like a random person just walking around.
Yeah, it's very much like it's like empty. It's got no. It's like a blank slate that you can do what you
Yeah.
want with, which I kind of prefer in those sort of games.
Yeah,
Do you
see,
feel attached to do you feel attached to Gordon Freeman at all in the Half-Life games, or because that's
Yes.
a character
not
that
played it.
you are, but
Does he
Everyone-
ever speak?
no.
No.
I've never played any of those games, so I don't fucking.
You haven't played Half-Life or Half-Life
really.
2?
I
I haven't
either.
played
Half-Life
Half-Life,
3 is the
but
good one.
Half-Life 2 is an incredible game.
Yeah.
I've played the second one up to like there's like a beach town with a lighthouse. I think like just after that.
Is
Okay,
that with
when
the
you're in the car, or-
antlions?
Yeah. I remember I played up to the antlions, and there's like a base you go into. That's the last bit I remember getting up to.
I've played
Wait,
episode. I haven't
the
played
base is probably Nova Prospect then.
Probably, yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. I've played the first. No, hang on. Haven't played the first one, but I've played 2 and episode 1 and 2. So
Jeez.
it's good. They're
The
fun.
first one, I'm pretty sure, got remastered, and it's called Black Mesa.
I think that's unofficial, but yeah.
The third one, however, is the best game ever.
Apparently,
There's no way that game can live up to the hype at this point.
I just don't think they're ever.
There's
gonna
no
make
way they'll ever make it.
yeah.
I'm
I-
sure actually Gaben can think of something like so incredible.
The reason, or part of the reason they haven't done anything with it, like they had shit for it, but it got leaked. So then they were like, well, fuck you. We're not doing it.
Oh,
Also, isn't it because there's no way they can like build something competent, well, not competent, but something up to their expectations of the fans?
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point.
It's like I'm pretty sure Half-Life 2 is one of the first games to have a physics engine, and everyone was so
the
amazed by
physics
it.
in it are crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, it's not that crazy. but-
No, they're wacky, bro.
It's pretty good.
What are
Well,
some
but-
games that lived up to the hype?
Outer Worlds, I feel like did. I didn't think
but
it
I
would.
don't think it was that overhyped though. Like, it's not one of those classic overhyped games.
True.
No
I mean,
Man's Sky.
I feel like people
See,
are like,
that's a
this game
classic
is going to be
overhyped
good.
game.
Dead Rising 4.
I don't even know.
Just name it at this point.
The general consensus is that Red Dead 2 lived up to the hype, but
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
some of you may not agree.
I
I
don't
haven't played it.
I mean,
I agree.
I can
Actually, I wasn't expecting that much of it.
I try to play the game, but for some reason I just can't get into it. I mean, I can tell it's a very good game, but it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
It's-
that's the same with me.
That happened to my sister as well. It's the the first like decently long time I played that game, I was like, "Fuck! I wasted my money. This is trash." And then eventually it just hooked me, and it's like my favorite game ever. But
Yeah.
literally, I know why you can't get through it because I have felt the exact same way at the start
I also though
for
the
quite a long time.
most fun I had, I just didn't get into the story. The most fun I had was trying to do all the hunter challenges and just fucking around and hunting rabbits in the
Nice.
forests and all that. It was just that was so cool. And I found one of my favorite parts was I found like a burnt area of trees, and the music changed to like creepy like horror music, and I'm like, cool, this is pretty creepy, and there's crows everywhere. It's cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was The Witcher super hype before it came out?
Number
Not
3.
sure.
Like,
I
know
think it was
it's
like-
a-
Like,
I don't think it actually was that hyped, and it just turned out to
I
be
think
a good game.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey was actually it wasn't very overhyped, but it definitely lived up to expectations.
yeah, I think it exceeded expectations.
Oh, very much exceeded.
Yeah.
Same with Origins, but because everyone was like, for a long time, everyone was like, "Fuck Assassin's Creed."
I mean, after fucking Syndicate, everyone gave up.
I think everyone gave up after like
Unity?
Unity.
Is
at
Unity,
least.
Was
yeah.
that was that multiplayer one that we tried?
Yeah.
That was fucked. I remember now.
Yeah.
Then
Wasn't
it became a free giveaway for like every single console.
Mm.
I remember there was a mission that we used to do multiple times.
Yeah, the painting
Steal
one.
the paintings. Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
gave you the most money, I think, or whatever.
Mhm.
And it was apparently easy. And I used to always get a bug where I would not be able to see any of the like the NPCs. And I would just be like, all right, guys, I can't do anything. I'm just going to hide on the roof. You two just jump down and loot the place. Because if I was to go anywhere, because the NPCs can see me, I just can't see
Yeah.
them. So I just like I have to follow them because I think at certain points I had to be there with you guys. And so they're like, okay, there's a guy down this hallway. He's walking towards us. I'm like, okay, I'll just hide over here. Or other times I'll just walk by and we just instant fail mission because I couldn't see a dude down the hallway who's just staring directly at me or any other bullshit.
You're just bumping into shit, knocking people over.
And I see them
Classic.
kill invisible men. Like they're just going up, slicing the air's throat, and then just continue on. Ugh.
I saw this is completely unrelated, but this morning on Facebook I saw someone shared a post of like the US Department of State or something. I think that's the page that shared it. And it was like some memorial or celebration day for victims of communism.
All right.
Like a national day for victims of communism. How patriotic and like can you be?
What do you mean? Like,
Like fucking what? Victims of Communism Day.
I mean, it does seem. I don't know. I don't really get it. I mean, I don't know if you want me to think it's pointless or to like.
Yeah,
I don't
also-
understand it.
I can't read. I can't read him.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. What do you want me to
it's
say?
just obnoxious.
Why?
Like, all the comments are like, "Can we have the other 364 days as victims of capitalism day and shit?"
Oh, because
I
you're
don't
saying.
know, man.
Okay.
I think fuck me, Jerry.
I think every system's fucked up in their own way.
I think communism has probably oppressed and killed a few more people than capitalism.
True, or at least they're a bit more open about it.
I don't know, man. I trust Donald Trump, my great leader.
Yeah,
He's not your leader,
Leader.
actually.
yeah. Daniel's
He's the
secretly
leader
a
of the free
fucking
world, and I'm a member
lie.
of that free world.
for America against Australia.
Yeah, if he declares war against Australia, so be it. I'll accept
You're
my death.
emigrating to the US. Are you?
Yeah, I'm sure America allows people they're at war with to emigrate into their country.
Well, didn't they after like World War II? Didn't they collect a bunch of like German scientists?
Collect.
Collect.
Like trading cards.
I mean, because I don't know. I thought Germany was doing quite well in terms of the science department in World War II, and then once the war ended, they basically were like, "Hey, these guys do a pretty good job."
That's because they were benefiting from it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Einstein was German and worked for the Americans, didn't he?
Yeah,
I
he
think
was
so.
German. I think he was like German Jewish, and so he fled Germany
He's fighting for
and
both
then
teams.
helped the Americans. Well, not. I don't think he helped them directly, but
His existence helped them.
Hmm.
Oh, did you?
I'm actually
see-
not sure if he worked on the Manhattan Project or not.
I don't think he did.
But his theory was the base for it, wasn't it?
It helped. It helped, I think, develop it, but I don't think he
There's
was
some
actually
dude
involved with it.
Who said, "I am become death, eater of worlds," and he was directly responsible. But
Destroyer of Worlds, and that was Robert Oppenheimer.
yes, good old Oppenheimer. I forgot about him.
Robert J. Oppenheimer.
Joppenheimer.
Yeah,
That's
Joppenheimer.
what his mates called him. Shit.
I'm pretty sure he didn't actually come up with that quote. He stole it from somewhere.
What a guy.
I feel like
Because I watched The Hunt for Red October yesterday. By the way, it's a very good movie.
Cool.
And the captain of the submarine said that he quoted it from some ancient text. I can't remember what religion or nationality the text was, but
this dude was involved in the Manhattan Project, the Robert Oppenheimer. His name.
Yeah,
yeah,
the big.
I didn't
boy.
know.
he was like the lead scientist.
I feel like no one else in history could have said that and been more accurate than him, though.
Yeah, because I think that's like, I don't know how to explain. It's not the ultimate weapon, but it just fucks everything up.
It's pretty insane. It must be pretty insane for them to have only used it twice ever since it was invented in like the 40s.
And-
Also, those were shit compared to the ones nowadays.
Yeah.
And
But
it's so bad that everyone in the world agrees that we should never use it again. Like,
yeah. Until
yeah,
this
so-
summer.
this summer, World War III kicks in, and we all have to be conscripted because we're
Kicks
of age.
in.
It kicks in, yeah. It's been brewing.
We are actually prime age to be conscripted if that ever actually happens.
I'm
So-
pretty sure I could get out of it.
Yeah,
Obesity.
cut your leg off.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not healthy, so just be like, oh, I got diabetes. Sorry, boy.
Diabetes.
I somehow doubt that Australia will ever turn to conscription.
I don't know if literal World War III kicked off and America and England and all of them were like, "Fuck you, Australia."
Why would they instantly fucking declare war on us?
like
It
the
wouldn't be a
opposite of what
world
happened.
war. It would be
Maybe-
destruction.
Maybe some emus.
The emus
nuked
fight back.
Across the border.
Also,
Emus
The second
broke
Nemo War.
down nukes.
I don't know if this is like a dumb question, but which side would we join? Because I know we're allies with America and basically the free world, whatever you want to call it. But like most of our trade is through China, which I feel
Most of
like.
everyone's trade is through China.
Yeah.
China owns everything.
So I feel like
Tencent.
which side would we pick?
We'd
in a way?
be with the white people, the white countries. Let's be real. Like,
Yeah, because if everyone turns and embargoes China, then China's economy is fucked.
England owns us. Also,
I know that. I know we're probably going to be with fucking England, but you never know. We might just go fuck you while World War III happens. Let's become a republic.
man, it's kind of a rip that like fucking New Zealand is like the only country in the world with a reasonable leader. This rate, like,
Yeah, I've heard some good things
Yeah.
about New
Do you
Zealand.
know the
recently.
leaders of like Uganda and shit?
yeah, I know them personally. They're my boys.
Well, if they're your boys, they must be decent people.
Speaking of leaders,
well, I mean, you guys are my boys, and are you decent people?
Wait, Which
I'm
country
not.
was it that said that had that released the kill all the gays bill?
That
What?
might have been Uganda, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, maybe not
maybe I'm not
Uganda.
friends with him. But as far as like major countries, like Turkey has a horrendous dictator. The US has Donald Trump. England has Boris Johnson now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Canada
Hey, Russia has
Trudeau.
Vladimir Putin. He is a
Yeah,
top
I
bloke.
mean, he's our biggest fan, as we said.
Yeah, he donates to us.
Um.
We have
fuck,
ScoMo.
Which one was
Trudeau.
I? Oh, yeah, we have ScoMo. Yeah, Trudeau. He was all right for a while, but then it turns out he like wore blackface a couple times, and
Oh yeah,
he's a bit problematic.
Who's
But
the
then-
French president?
Macron.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
Emmanuel Macron, who apparently everyone hates.
How the
Yeah,
fuck
his
do you
wife
guys
is
know
much
this
older
guy?
than him, so
Because it was like controversial that he got in or something. I can't remember.
Okay,
I
Yeah.
think his wife was his like teacher.
Teacher. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever works. I don't really care. As
Bit-
long as they're
bit
not
dodge.
related and it's a child.
Yeah, but imagine if like Chris was elected to prime minister, and then you find out he's married to John Kelly.
John
I'm
Kelly.
saying good for
doxing.
him. Fucking
Doxing
hell.
again.
Let's
Yep.
get a
You
bleep that
can't possibly dox John Kelly. There's like a million John Kellys.
The,
there's 3 in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So
No, 2 actually, Kyle. So fuck.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. Well, you don't know.
Well,
Maybe
Well,
Shall I
Introduce a third one.
yeah.
Chris is also obviously referring here to the guy who worked for Donald Trump, John Kelly.
Yes.
Was there also a John Kelly that worked for Donald Trump?
Yes.
Oh, there was probably like 6 of them actually. But
Yeah, every second guy's John Kelly.
Yeah. Speaking of world leaders or Australian prime ministers, I went to
Flex.
Queensland. Also, I went to
Flex.
I went to Queensland
know.
last week, and when I was on the way there from the airport, I was standing next to someone who had short-ish ginger hair, and I was standing next to her, and I went, "Oh, that kind of looks like Julia Gillard." And then sort of had a cheeky glance at her boarding pass. It was Julia Gillard. She was on my flight.
a
So
cheeky glance.
Cheeky
Yeah.
glance.
It sounds like you're trying to size her up for something else.
That's wrong.
Invited her to the restroom on the plane.
But yeah, just yeah, it was like, oh yeah, she looks kind of like Julia Gillard. Oh, that is Julia Gillard. So yeah, the
Did she like
most famous
fall
person.
over whilst boarding the plane?
Did you get her to
No.
sign your shirt?
What?
Did you get her to sign your shirt?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How about
Got
your
it
chest?
framed. Yeah, I got her to sign the shirt, and then I took my shirt off, and then she signed my chest.
And then
And
you
then
got
I
it
got kicked off
tattooed
the
over.
flight.
Oh yeah, I forgot. People do that, don't they?
Yeah, it's
They
weird.
get people's signatures, like they just get them drawn on, and then they get
Mm.
tattoos of it over the top.
I don't know if I should make this more political or not because I'm
Well, we've
I'm
gone this
in
fast.
my in my I don't really have a side I pick really. I just
Mm.
don't know enough about the political
Benson's a
system
green
to have
supporter.
an opinion. But at the same I'm all about the ecosystem. Like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's do that. But changing all of our power to renewable energy is like one of our goals is not
For
working
some
out-
reason.
it's not working out so well.
If
and
Australia was to do it, it would do nothing.
It would
in
do
the
something.
grandest scheme of things.
Yeah,
we're
like
pretty
in
big.
comparison to everyone else, Australia doing it alone would not change. Would change just about nothing.
Yeah,
my-
but if
Yeah, but
everyone
it sets
does
the bar as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say.
If everyone but the US and China does it, they're going to look pretty bad.
True, but
Yeah, but will they care? Like,
an easy solution is to go nuclear power because we have a lot of uranium. That's like one of our biggest
Don't we
things.
already do nuclear power?
I don't know if we
I
do.
don't
Not for
think
us,
we
but
do.
I thought we had power plants because we like dump nuclear waste in the desert and shit. Or do
I mean, this-
people send us their
No,
nuclear waste? and we
They
bury it?
send us the nuclear waste.
So why don't we just fucking like we're already doing the bad thing without the good thing?
Just pump the waste into our like pipes and power our houses.
I just want to get the money from it.
If China and the US don't do it, we'll just declare war on them, and get absolutely
okay.
fucked.
Right.
I've just had a look at something. Australia has never had a nuclear power station, and Australia hosts 33% of the world's uranium deposits.
Nice.
So we have.
Yeah, it's because the Aboriginals don't want to sell it.
I don't know if that's it.
No, I shit you not.
I think that
Apparently,
is- yeah,
during the
'cause-
World War II era. An Aboriginal tribe was offered $6 billion in the World War II era
Holy
to
shit.
Damn.
mine uranium, and they said no. Because
Is it on the top of Uluru and no one can get to it?
No, fuck off, guys. No, because it's like they care about the land. They don't have monetary value for anything.
Also, another thing, like the bad thing about nuclear power plants is if they go bad, it can go very bad. But that's
They go real
older.
bad.
That's older nuclear power plants. Modern ones now have a lot of safeguards so that they don't actually fuck up the world, because we're not idiots and realize that we should maybe make it a bit safer. And another thing is, I think Australia would be a prime place to put nuclear power plants because we have open, endless desert that no one fucking lives in. We don't have
Well,
natural
You have
disasters.
to transport the power as well.
Let me finish. We don't have any like catastrophic natural disasters like earthquakes, fucking tsunamis.
Yeah.
I mean, we might get a tsunami, but it's only around the coast.
Not in the desert though.
And volcanoes. We don't have any of that. We only have bushfires and floods. So it's a lot easier to make them safer in a way.
I mean, floods is what fucked the Fukushima plant in the
Yeah,
West.
Tsunami.
we would
Yeah.
have ours a lot further away.
Well, it was a
from
tsunami, but
possible.
it flooded it, didn't it?
I feel
Isn't
like the
that what happened?
tsunami might have done the big bad to it, probably.
The big bad.
Just to interject here, 6 billion. It was 6 billion, right? The
Yeah.
Aboriginals are going to get paid. That's $104 billion in
Shit.
2019. If
For just
we
a
were talking
tribe.
41.
Can you imagine, like, at this point, the Aboriginals were getting, like, completely fucked over by everyone
Yeah.
else. Why wouldn't they just steal it anyway? Why wouldn't they just continue mining anyway?
Oh, you mean the
Yeah.
government?
No, yeah, the Aboriginals just mine
It's
it.
like,
Just say, like,
"We're just gonna
fuck
get
off.
out, like buy some pickaxes and get mining.
I'm just looking at this thing talking about the reasons why we shouldn't have nuclear power stations in Australia, and one of them is the costs and risks associated with potential impacts from extreme weather events and natural disasters such as Fukushima. I just explained we don't have like half of them,
They
and
must
the
have
ones
had
the ones we do have probably won't fuck up the power plant and make it explode.
It's not
that-
necessarily natural disasters. It can be man-made as well.
What, like the terrorists?
No, like
the
Chernobyl.
terrorists.
The terrorists. I mean, if you have it in the middle of a desert and it blows up, it's going to kill maybe like 200 people compared to wiping
like,
out a whole
Johnny
side of the country.
terrorist.
Why don't we just put it in Sydney?
Yeah, just put it in Sydney. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently nuclear power is like the cleanest energy you can make.
Except
It's-
for all the nuclear waste you have to bury.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
what?
I mean, we have a lot of space. We can put it in the ground.
Why don't
I
we
mean-
just dig a hole to like center of the earth and chuck it in?
I mean, we are digging holes for the uranium. Why don't we just put it all the waste back in the mines that we've just mined out?
You know what? Actually, on this subject, do you guys know? Is there a reason we? I suppose it'd be very expensive, but is there a reason we don't like launch trash into space, like just into the sun?
Oh, there is a massive reason.
It's too heavy.
If there's basically a thing, right, that if this was to actually blow up, like if any space, anything we launch into space breaks up into the not atmosphere, but in space that orbits us, if enough of it builds up, it can create a thing where we can cover the entire planet in basically an impassable wall of speeding projectiles that will destroy anything.
Nice.
It's a rule
Oh.
that will happen. It's like guaranteed to happen. As long as we try to put things in space, it will happen. But we have to reduce it because it can fuck up. Like it's a stone that rolls down a hill. It gets quicker and quicker the longer it's happening. Because the thing is, it can like make objects crash into objects we're trying to chuck in space, and then that makes more trash in space. and that
Right.
constantly builds it up to the point where you have like projectiles the size of like tiny stones that can just pierce through steel
That would
easily.
be a bit of a yikes.
Why can't
And-
you just launch it past the atmosphere
Why can't you
Because
just
what
launch
happens
it
and
It's-
the orbit?
What happens if we fuck up? And eventually what will happen is if it gets bad, we can never leave the planet again unless we find a way to literally scoop up the trash from the sky and bring it down.
Yeah.
Scoop up the
Yeah,
trash.
Chris,
Get
what
a
he means
really
is
big
if,
net.
like, we can't send anything massive because if it breaks, there'll be a ton of shit.
Oh,
And
right.
Right.
it will be permanent, basically. Like, we'll never leave the planet.
Pretty
Ever.
sure there's a Futurama episode where a ball of trash they sent into space came back like 1,000 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had to get rid of it.
Mm.
But yeah, like goes back to the classic if we shoot enough croissants into the sun, so on.
What?
But yeah, like
God.
shot like a bunch of like nuclear waste into the sun, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Theoretically. Would that
Yeah.
fuck with the sun? Or
No,
is
it
the
course it
sun
would
big
fuck
enough
with
that
the
it's just
sun.
like
wouldn't do shit to the sun.
I don't know, dude. You never know.
It's
What
just
if the
giving it
sun's
more
like
energy.
one nuclear boy away from just
I
Eat-
don't. Okay, sorry. I was going to say, it won't give the sun energy because it doesn't fuse anything fucking larger than iron.
what would
It's-
happen to it then?
Okay. It would very tiny. I think it will just affect the sun. Okay, by
I'll
making
do
it use less energy. I mean, like it wastes the total energy that the sun has, total fuel it has, by like 1,000
So it might
million
get colder.
%. Yeah,
So we can counteract global warming.
by making the sun freeze. You're thinking with your mind there.
Yeah, maybe I should run for
By
office.
shooting nuclear waste into the sun.
Why don't we just not bar? Why don't we just shoot shit into the atmosphere like you were saying and break it up? So then we have a massive like
Shield wall.
shield, yeah, that will
Mm.
cover us.
They'll like make that earth hotter.
I don't know, because if you put a bunch of reflective stuff up there, it would bounce back. But the thing is, like, we wouldn't be able to leave the planet. So if we go in the current course that we're going with, just using all of our natural resources, it will end quite badly.
Also, aliens couldn't invade because we'd fuck them up with our
well, you never know.
speeding projectiles of doom.
I feel like we are at a worse situation if we can't defend ourselves from aliens with spaceships, because they could just go, oh, look at all this nuclear waste they've put up in the atmosphere. Let's just do what they did and put it back down to the planet and just rain the planet in nuclear waste.
Yeah. Also, if they're like advanced enough that they're space shipping over to us, I feel like they might be able to get through that.
Just glass the planet like Halo. Probably do it.
If we like, Earth has like all this fucking shit on it, right? But like Mars has like nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fucking like rock and like
Yeah.
a
It's
couple of
basically
bits of
just
metal.
a desert.
Yeah. So if we used everything on the Earth and we moved to Mars, it might be like we can live there, but there wouldn't really be much to do there, right? Like it's not like we're going to just get more resources from there, right?
Well, the thing is, if you want to do tourism in space, I'm pretty sure Mars has the largest mountain in the solar system that we know of.
Isn't it like
It's
You
so
can
big
be
it goes to
boy.
space.
on Mars and not break your legs?
I'm gonna go to Mars just so I can see this big
Yeah.
mountain.
Also,
what did you say, Daniel, about breaking your legs?
Isn't it like you can jump off of high shit on Mars and not break your legs because there's less gravity?
Yeah,
it's
I did hear.
very
there's, like,
slightly less. So
generally break your legs a little bit less.
yeah. Also,
Fracture them.
in order to, for example, terraform Mars into a livable society, like make it Earth, right?
We live in one.
The core of Mars is actually solid. It's not molten iron; it's solid.
Oh, okay.
It's important because it allows a magnetic pole to keep away the solar energy that goes through the system, right? Ours keeps all that away, keeps all that radiation away from us, so our atmosphere can actually exist. But Mars doesn't have that, so whenever they get hit with a solar flare, it just wipes the planet clean. So
Might need to do something about that.
Whereas in on Earth, that would just fuck with like electronic and shit.
Yeah, in orbit, electronics can be fucked up from it, and I think you can do something with a nuke, right, which can make nearly a worldwide EMP if you launch it into our atmosphere.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah,
I mean, that
Um,
happened in Modern Warfare 2.
I don't remember that, but sure. I haven't played it in a while, so
What's with these solar flares? Like, who's shooting these flares?
the
Someone
sun's
on the sun,
angry
like-
and it's a deadly laser.
Are you sure it's
basically.
not like some dude's on the sun and he's like shooting flares so we can come and help him?
Yeah, it might be.
A
Fuck it, who
dude
knows?
on the sun.
Dude.
He's chilling.
The Sun Lord.
He
hates
probably
us.
went there at night so it wouldn't be as hot.
Ah, yeah. Good one.
Man, the sun confuses me. Like, the surface of the sun, right, is about 5,000 degrees.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
then the atmosphere around it is considerably more than that.
How much more?
Like,
Considerably.
You have to consider it for a
much
while.
more. I'm going to fucking search this up.
1 degree.
And also, I think, the closer you get to the core, does it cool down? I don't know. I
That's
have no idea,
weird.
so
Why
I
don't
don't
we
know.
just leave it to core?
I actually want to check. I want to check.
Jeez.
I don't know. I thought I
Fact-based
remembered.
podcast.
I don't. This is something I heard, and I don't actually know
The
its
sun's,
exact number.
sorry to just kill you, Kyle. The sun's
So good.
atmosphere can get as high as 1 million degrees, yet
1
its
million.
surface temperature is only around 6,000.
1 million. That's quite a few degrees.
Celsius, I assume.
Yes.
Oh,
We
what's
don't deal
Fahrenheit?
in fucking...
It's Kelvin.
Yes.
90
Well,
million.
Kelvin is... When you're dealing with a million, Kelvin and Celsius really aren't that different.
No.
Yeah, I don't actually know the exact number, but hope that you guys do. Is it true that if the sun was to like basically blink out of existence, it would take like 7 or 8 seconds for it to affect us?
Way more than that.
Yeah, way more.
Oh,
Wait,
really?
Isn't it like
Oh,
just
okay.
some amount of minutes?
Yeah, I thought it was like 8 minutes.
Oh, okay. Maybe I just got the seconds and minutes wrong. But
just
yeah,
trying to-
Silly
that's-
man.
I feel like you
kind
might
of
be right.
crazy.
Because I was just thinking, like, in terms of like light, yeah, it takes 8 minutes, but I think gravity also travels at that speed. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Well, it can't be faster than the speed of light, because that's the fastest known speed.
Yeah, I thought the speed of light. So.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to think the speed of gravity.
The
If-
speed of gravity? Is that even a thing?
I think it is like the speed of which gravity affects. Like, for example, if something was to instantly be made, how quick would everything else react around it?
Yeah, like gravity can't just be an instantaneous force, can it? Like that doesn't really make logical sense.
Because if it did, we would just say everything's like the fastest thing would be the speed of gravity. I think it's what is it? I'm actually now trying to figure it out.
You know,
If
there's
the-
supposedly a 9th planet in our solar system that
'Cause it-
isn't Pluto.
I don't know if that's legit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because scientists can't explain the gravitational pull, like abnormality in our solar system somewhere. So they're convinced that there is a 9th planet somewhere that we haven't discovered yet.
There's a
Okay.
thing with like that's the planet X or whatever is supposed to crash into us and kill us all, but I don't think that's real. If the sun like just disappeared, but the heat wouldn't affect us, like just say theoretically, like if we could still survive with that heat, would we just like slingshot whichever
we'd
direction
suffocate
we
to
happen to be
death.
spinning? Why?
Because all the plants would die.
No, I'm saying imagine the light is like we've solved that issue. That's an issue of the past.
Okay, so
We've
basically
got
it's
light,
just the
we've got
light,
heat, we're
the
fine.
light part that doesn't exist.
That's
or-
all the sun does, apart from
Yeah,
like,
but just say-
radiation.
Like we're in a metal ball, which gives us light.
okay.
Yeah, and heat, and it keeps the plants alive. But the sun's gone, so the gravitational pull is fucked, right?
Oh.
Okay.
Would we just slingshot off into fucking space?
Yeah,
Or what the fuck?
Probably, yeah.
that's
So we just
literally
have to
what
like hope that like Jupiter isn't in our path or some shit.
happened. Yeah, or
Can you
even close
imagine-
because that thing could pull us in.
That would be pretty cool if we like happen to.
Pretty cool.
Not that.
Yeah, after we experience
get
this over like
slingshot.
several years of our lives.
If we happen to get slingshot through space, right? We'd go into like whatever. Like, I mean, suppose we'd already be in dark space because our star's gone. But we'd if we had another planet like next to us, going the same direction as us, it would be kind of cool. It's just like you just got one planet that's like chilling there.
It would be a parallel path.
Yeah, I feel like although the problem there would be unless it's going slightly away from us, it would probably eventually collide with us.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a weird thought, but what is like the I don't know how to explain this, but if you were to look through a telescope and then look at the moon, or like look through a telescope, look at the moon through a telescope, what is sort of like the time difference between that?
Between what?
Like light.
It's only I think that's only like a number of seconds.
Okay, damn it. Because I was gonna say, like, wouldn't it be cool if it was like a year or so and you go on the moon, wave at the Earth, and then come back to Earth, look through a telescope in a year, and then just see yourself waving?
That would not make any sense because how are you going to come? How are you going to physically come back before the light
Speed
can
of
come
light.
back?
By the way, I just had a
Teleportation.
look. And, apparently, like from what we can understand, gravity does have a speed. It's not instantaneous. Like that's what we mostly believe because there's other people that oppose it. Also, I think it is not faster than the speed of light.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I would have known that. Oh,
Weird flex.
Because
well,
apparently,
because the speed of light is the like
Yeah, everyone
commonly
knows the speed of light's the
known-
fastest thing.
it basically
for
explained it as
Your
there's
boy.
two ways of viewing how gravity affects the universe. Like, it's not the reason why gravity doesn't like the reason why gravity exists isn't because of the mass, but the curvature of space itself, like a fabric.
All right,
and
now you're getting too
space
deep
is
for
made of
anyone.
All right,
to
I'll
understand.
just
You're
stop.
going deep.
What
I'll
fabric
stop.
are we talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
Kyle,
a little weird for me.
To somewhat answer your earlier question about you waving at yourself, obviously you can't do that, and your cat seems to think you're an idiot as well. But the way light just like reflects like that, essentially, like if you look up in the sky at a plane, what you're seeing, the plane is actually slightly ahead of what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Probably not very much because, a plane's not very far from you in terms of the speed of
Yeah.
light. But yeah, and with like relativity and shit, the faster you are, the closer you are to the speed of light, the slower time goes relative to like us.
Okay.
So if you're traveling at the speed of light, time stops.
Theoretically.
Yes, theoretically. So theoretically, if you could go faster than the speed of light, time would reverse.
Okay. Wow. All right.
So yeah, if you're
yeah,
looking to
it's
go back in time, just figure out how to go faster than the
But
speed of light.
the issue
All
is
right, I'll just go really
nothing can go
fast.
faster than the speed of light that we know of.
Am I the only one that kind of
Except
finds it a
Usain
little
Bolt.
bit? Am I the only one that kind of finds it a little bit pointless when like scientists and stuff discover like Earth 3.0 and it's the exact same as Earth, we can live on it, and it's like 300 light years away. It's like cool. If it's like
It's
300,000 light
impossible
years
for
away.
us to get there.
Yeah, it's like if we travel at the speed of light, we'll still get there in 300 years. So it's like, why tell us about this?
Well, because they discovered it. It's very coincidental to find, like, it's very unlikely to find a planet exactly like us, or more or less exactly like us.
Yeah, and it also
That's why
answers
it's
the
been
age-old question that life could exist on that planet.
There's also this other terrifying thing about space is where are all the aliens? If we can find planets that could have alien life on it, where is it?
Probably on the planets.
And,
Yeah.
So there's this thing, right, where basically it talks about how it's believed that every civilization has to go through these massive stages which can wipe out the civilization. and they are to prevent, not to prevent, but those are things that prevent life from getting into space. So, for example, some people believe that researching nuclear weapons is one, because if it's not used right, you can just kill everyone on the planet with it.
Yeah.
Or
fuck. It went pretty well for us, thankfully. We only lost a couple
so far
million Asian people.
And so basically, it's believed that there's one barrier that most life or all life just fails at. And we don't know if we've passed it or it hasn't come yet. If we've passed it right, it basically means that we're on our own in the entire universe. And
not necessarily.
We're the most advanced things in the universe.
Yeah.
which is interesting thought. And if we haven't, we have an impending doom just maybe happen. So
I think we definitely have an impending doom.
The argument with like aliens, whether they'd kill us all and stuff that I've seen, is if they're advanced enough to have gotten to the point where they can come from their fucking galaxy or whatever the fuck to us.
Then we are no
they're
threat
either
to them.
so advanced that they've like moved past like war and stuff and put all that aside so that they can advance that much, or they're some sort of like Nazi situation where they're so advanced because it's one people because they wiped everyone else out and took over.
Yeah.
So
or it could have been that in the like, because war breeds like technological advancement, like it just does. If you look at what happened in World War II and all that, it just sped up our technology. Maybe the planet has been in a constant state of war for ages, and they just sort of spread that out into space. And it's just a crazy warfaring faction, and they're just like, oh, some new fucks to fuck with.
But it's so crazy to think, like, sounds kind of stupid, but it's so crazy to think that literally just no one would expect it. No one would have any way of seeing it coming. But tomorrow, aliens could just rock up at Earth.
Yeah. Because
It's like,
yeah,
I don't know, dude. I hope we meet aliens in my lifetime and they don't kill us all. But
I hope
if
when I'm like
on my
90,
deathbed
they
it'd
come
be-
and kill
and
me.
they came to kill us all, it'd be pretty cool.
Fuck yeah, dude.
at that point, if you can travel to us like faster than the speed of light, you probably travel at an instantaneous speed, because that's the only thing we can figure out that's faster is through just like going through wormholes and all that we believe possible, which is just instant travel to other sides of the dimension.
Man, yeah, I like the classic explanation for like wormholes and stuff is like, oh, it's here's this point and here's this point, and then you bend the universe like a piece of paper,
Yeah.
and then you go through, and it's like, wow, that really explains it very well. Thank you. I'm just gonna bend the fucking universe.
Oh, that's
To
all I
my
had to
will.
do.
Yeah,
That's what I've been missing. I just need to bend the universe. I've been trying to stretch it and twist it.
How do you bend like Earth so I can just teleport to work?
Well, I think
Go through a wormhole to work.
I think gravity bends the fabric of the universe. That's literally what gravity is.
bent universe.
Bent universe, yeah. Yeah, that's some interesting
Alright.
stuff.
Well, we'll figure that out on the next episode of the Late Science Podcast.
Yeah, we're a
I
bunch of
seriously
retards.
doubt we
that-
will.
I
Yeah,
think we will.
We barely understand any of it. We're probably just talking bullshit,
Yeah, I'm
mostly by
trying to wave
me.
at myself from the mood.
If there's any podcast that can do it, it's us.
Yeah.
The
With the
greatest
fuck-
minds of our generation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
All right. Well, that's a goodbye from me, your boy, Skinny
Boris.
Penis. Anyone else want to say goodbye?
Tell him
Goodbye,
to fucking
guys.
leave already, all right?
Fuck off.
All right, goodbye.
It's recording, isn't it? Yep. All right, guys. Welcome to this episode of the Pioneer. No.
The pioneers.
He's having a
Pioneers.
laugh. He's literally doing the intro to a podcast he listens to.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know.